Yeah. You ready? Hey.
Hey, I just wanna get to know you. All right, mate, chill out. Hello. Hey guys, why am I shouting? Welcome. I don't do that. Why am I doing that now?
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what? I haven't made a YouTube video in months, and this is like, see when like you're just too embarrassed to come back. That's what's been happening so far. But I'm back now because obviously it's December. It's a very important video, and yeah. So sorry, first and foremost. But let's just crack on with it. Welcome to Midnight Chat. This is that episode or that. I don't know what's the.
Brace yourself.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
This is that video where we talk about issues and just problems, that startup people face, but also people who want to get better at life, pretty much face. And today we're going to be discussing New Year's resolutions and stuff. But before we do any of that, just want to encourage you to subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Click the subscribe button. God. It's been a really long day and it's very, very late. But click the subscribe button and stuff. And yeah, join the family. But I'm here today with Danny. Now, Danny, he loves it. Now, Danny,
I love it.
who are you?
Love it,
So
I do.
we're actually in Manchester.
We are in Manchester, yeah.
So you're a northern lad.
Yeah.
Who are you for people who don't know you?
So my name is Danny Andrews, otherwise known as
We haven't done this in a while, but go.
otherwise known as Danny from Money.
Uh-huh.
Basically, I run an organisation called CEG, which of course stands for Creating Entrepreneurial Generations. We work with young people. We've designed a program that enhances the learning experience of young individuals within schools, colleges and alternative provisions. And basically it's all about re-engaging young people back into education. We want them to be able to wake up in the morning and feel like, yes, I'm looking forward to going to school.
Yes.
Not the opposite.
Yes. No, I said it before, but Danny's organization is so cool because they help a lot of young people who used to have big dreams, used to be kind of very driven, who've had that kind of drive or that dream robbed by some
Correct.
terrible teacher or some circumstances beyond their control, to basically revive that dream. So it's a really cool organization, and I'll put the link in the bio. You should check it out. But for those who are new to Midnight Chat, this is one of the things I do. I also do vlogs and other things, but essentially this channel is all about personal development, of course, but also business and startup and all that kind of stuff. So today we're going to be speaking about personal development. So we're going to be calling this video what was it again? Don't set or forget about New Year's resolutions. We were having a chat and I was like, you know what, let me put a camera on so we can get people involved. If you have a thought at any stage, just drop it in the comment section and I'll respond to you. But Daniel, when you think about New Year's resolutions, why are we so angry? The title of this video is a bit kind of chill out. So why do you think people need to forget about New Year's resolutions?
Because it doesn't work. Essentially, It doesn't work. We've found people in positions where they've set themselves a New Year's resolution. I'm going to do this. Halfway through, they give up.
Yeah. And why do you reckon that is?
Because of consistency. They're not able to be consistent because they're finding it difficult and because of other circumstances being dropped into the fold. And this is what happens. We're always going to be hit by certain obstacles in our lives and through what we're trying to do. But it's basically about trying to overcome adversity, isn't it? It's about being relentless. It's about striving through that. It's about giving somebody something to look at and say, wow, that's amazing.
Okay, cool. Well, listen, I agree. I agree 100%. This chat came about when we were, I was having a chat with somebody I know, and they were basically speaking about their New Year's resolutions. And don't get me wrong, I think goal setting's amazing. If you know me, I'm a goal setter. I love goals. What I'm against is this kind of society thing called New Year's resolutions. This idea that in December, you're meant to come up with these set of arbitrary goals. These are things that you haven't had the mindset to fix during the year. These are things that in November you weren't thinking about, but suddenly in December it kind of pops up in your mind, and you write this list down, and then you're meant to dedicate your year to getting this list. And if we know, most people have, there's all these kind of quotation stuff that people put on Instagram and on Twitter and just lots of stuff about like the new year, and they go for it. And like you said, literally, as soon as it hits April, like people have just kind of forgotten about it.
Literally.
So like, if that system isn't working, if you're now 29, you're 32, or even like one of our younger viewers, you're like, I don't know, like, no, 18. You've been doing this now for like 9 years. It's not working. Madness is described as doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results.
Of course.
So like, if it's not working and you keep on doing it, like, what do you think is going to happen? Like magically one day it's just all going to work out? Like, why do you reckon people still go through that whole new year, new me kind of phase?
It's that time of the season, right? That time of the season where people think, okay, there's a change in the year, so therefore there's going to be a change in me. No, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but it doesn't work like that. It works when you start something. It works when, I always base it like this. Look, what are you doing in your week? Okay, so now what you're doing in your, what you're doing in your day, then what you're doing in your week, and then we boil it down to what's happened at the end of the month. At the end of the month, if nothing's been done, what are you going to do to develop yourself in the next month? Stop putting it down to this yearly thing of New Year's resolution. It should be a new day resolution.
Oh,
every time. Hey,
all right, brother. Well, you slow down. Well, you've heard an important point, which I think we have to talk about at some stage, and it's this idea of, goals are super important, especially if you're trying to achieve big things. So, for instance, something like getting a car. A car is a big purchase, especially if you're not financing it. Yeah. It's a big purchase. So, having a goal allows you to kind of take what is a massive purchase, like a car or a house or marriage, whatever it is, and break it down into bite-sized steps. And I guess what we're saying is, or what you might be saying, correct me if I'm wrong, is that when people set New Year goals, as it were, oftentimes they just think about the goal, but they haven't worked out how they're going to get there in a very kind of systematic way.
Correct.
Now, don't get me wrong, I don't want to just be negative in this video. It's not. This isn't a video bashing you for wanting to be a better person and saying it won't work out. In fact, what we want to do, funny enough, is the opposite in this video. We actually want to help you think kind of differently about your year, and to kind of essentially, how do we make 2019, if you're watching this in 2018, how do you make 2019 the best year you've ever had? That's my real desire. That's my heart for you, is how do we make this year better? And I'll start with how we don't. How we don't is you thinking that there's a spiritual force that comes alive in January. It's going to just blow you along the year, and you're gonna be like, oh my god, I'm just a better person. I just kind of woke up, and no, that's not gonna happen. Instead, what Danny spoke about, which I want you to go into now, that's one of the ways that I think you're gonna have a great year this year. So if you're kind of writing down, you're thinking about notes, as it were, now we're going to talk about how you're actually going to have a good year. What can you do to replace this whole New Year thing? How can you replace it with credible and essentially good kind of tips and skills that will mean that you do have the best year ever? So the first thing, Danny, is goal setting. So you're saying that if people every single day look, in fact, I'm not going to try and phrase it for you. What exactly are you saying? So what way would you give to a young lad or young woman out there who's saying, how do I do it?
You just have to be able to get up with the right mindset in the first place. Don't get up sluggish. Don't get up thinking, another day, another dollar, or another headache, basically. Get up understanding that you need to get something done. So therefore, for me, getting up, I get up in the morning. I get up as early as 7 o'clock, sometimes even 6, depending on. I always make sure that I need to hit that gym. I like to feel refreshed in the morning. I like to feel, if I feel refreshed, if I feel like I've done a good workout, I feel like I can function properly in that day. So once I go to the gym, I come back home. Of course, I see you, Michael. You sometimes go for a jog in the morning as well, Michael.
Sometimes.
Each to their own, right? But once I've done that, basically, I then say to myself, okay, what do I have planned for today? I've got a meeting coming up, of course, on Friday that I mentioned to you about. Okay, so what am I putting in place now? I've got the documents and everything there ready for that particular meeting on the Friday. Look, that's on the Friday. It's not today, but it's on the Friday. Yeah, I'm still preparing today for that. If you can get yourself and your mind in that sort of way of thinking, okay, so this is what's going to happen at the end of the week. What am I doing today to put that and make sure that everything is operating efficiently for that particular task or whatever it is that you're doing on that day? That's how I break it down. And oftentimes, if your day's not productive, flipping heck, sometimes people don't know that because they're so comfortable in it. Comfort is what causes people to feel like, well, not think about the day. For me, I just don't like being comfortable. So naturally our body sits in this position of comfort. So, you know, for instance, if someone grabbed a knife and sort of put it between your fingers, ultimately you'll flinch, right? Our body's not naturally made to take risks.
Yeah.
But you have to take risks if you want to get to where you want to get to in life. So for me, ultimately, I don't want to get up in the morning. I don't want to go to the gym. I don't want to do these things, planning the process for the Friday. But yet I have to do it because I need to make that change. I need to make something happen. In order to create that thing to happen, you have to do those things that I've mentioned.
I love that. It sounds like what you're saying is, and what I love about what you're saying is you're not waiting until the new year to start this. You're saying rather than waiting, because think about it, the year is just, January is just another month. It's the month after December. That's all it is. It actually isn't the start of anything. Yeah, it's just your life just carries on forever, right?
It's a mind thing. The way you think, it's a mind psychologically.
Thing. And the reason why we have to rescue our goals from it is because we only get one January every 12 months.
Correct.
So if you're waiting till January to essentially kickstart something, you've missed the trick. What Danny's saying here is, if on a daily basis you can seek motivation, even in the small tasks you're taking part in, then you will get that marginal,
right?
Yeah,
correct.
You'll be marginally better. If Friday you've got this big debate, meeting, presentation, you've got that. In many ways, Friday is kind of like the peroration of your week.
Correct.
How you get to having a good Friday is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, looking for marginal, returns on them. If every day is better, the law of marginal returns tells us if every day is better than the one before, then you actually end up with a lot more later on. So I guess the one way to kind of get rid of this, or the one thing you can replace, so to speak, this New Year's resolution thing is right now, what goals do you have in the future, and then what daily tasks are you going to keep on doing either over and over again? What daily habits are you going to try and break to make sure you actually get the goal you're looking for? So that's one key way of doing it. Another key way that really gets me going is discipline. So discipline is not really a way, but I guess you might call it another factor that's important. And that's the thing about discipline. It doesn't matter how much you want to be disciplined. Doesn't matter how much you desire it. You can write it down as many times as you want until you start taking steps. And again, it kind of speaks to what Danny's speaking about. Small steps to build your discipline. You will stay the same forever. You can look for New Year's. You can look for new days. You can even chase Chinese New Year's. Whatever it is, you can have as many New Year's as you want in the same year. Until you decide in your own self that, hey, I need to grow in discipline and start taking daily steps to actually growing in that discipline, you will be the same. I found that people can change any time of the year, anytime, if they just have enough discipline. So how do we build discipline, Danny?
It's first of all, I was going to say in sense of that. No, seriously. Linking in and part of building discipline is acceptance. Accepting that something isn't quite how you want it to be. Now, if you can accept that something's not how you want it to be, that's a start to you making that initial step to making change, ultimately. So I've, in the past, been in denial of certain situations that I've been in, and I thought, no, it's not me, it's not how I've operated things. I've done things the right way, and this, that, and the other. But the ultimate result of that has just been me kind of still going on the same tangent that I was constantly in. Now, the thing is, once you accept something, you can then say, okay, I'm accepting that this has happened, and now I want to push forward to get to the stage that I want to be at. Help me. Give me guidance. Give me something to be able to get there. So acceptance is part of building up discipline. I think also coming from... Speaking on that as well, discipline comes with action. So I talked about acceptance, it's action now. It's now about implementation. So you can say, okay, I accept something, but accepting's not enough. You need to take action. Are you hearing?
So hold on, so you have to break that down for me. What do you mean by take action? So if I'm watching this video, hold on, let me finish. If I'm watching this video and I'm thinking to myself, you know what? What these two dashing, good-looking lads are saying is true. I need to grow in discipline. What's the first step one takes to growing in discipline? How do you grow your discipline?
I mentioned action. Accepting, sorry.
No, so acceptance is cool, and I think you're absolutely right. That the first step to getting help is accepting you have a problem.
Yeah.
That's absolutely true. We've heard that in films, and let me tell you, it's true. I've counseled, discipled, spoken, myself have been... Until you accept that something's wrong, you never will find the solution you're looking for. So the prerequisite for actually changing anything in your life is accepting that there's a problem in the first place. So that's cool. But then if I'm sitting there again and I'm thinking, how do I actually change? Like, how do I change? What would you say the first step is? After I've said, like, you know what, Mike, something's wrong. I mean, people click on this video because they might be thinking, okay, you know what, I've got a problem. I need to solve this. What do they then do to grow discipline?
I think one of the things you need to do is to seek help. You need to seek help from people that have been in a position that you've been in. That might not be the first thing, but it's one of the things. Seek help from the people that might have been in the position you've been in, people that have a great solution to kind of curing this problem, as you would call it. And once you seek the help, it's about learning, listening to what the person's saying. It's about kind of taking it on board and actually trying it out, seeing, look, if this has worked for you in the past, let's try and see if it works for me. Look, if it doesn't work for you, then it doesn't work for you, but what's the harm in trying? And of course, from there, you may be able to see change. I know I've seen change from some of the mentors that I've looked at, and I've said, look, this is a problem that I'm suffering with at the moment. Almost sounds like a disease.
Well, that's the thing, but lack of discipline is, because lack of discipline, it manifests in lots of different ways. So lack of discipline can lead to somebody drinking too much and having an alcohol problem. It can lead to essentially it can lead to people falling out with friends. It can lead to you spending too much. Like, lack of discipline will really ruin your life in every single side. And what Danny's speaking about is absolutely true. It's imperative you speak to someone about this thing. But also, I found that discipline is it's a muscle, like any other muscle. You have to train it, and the more you train it, the stronger you get. And with discipline, if you're watching, you're thinking, I need to grow in discipline, start very, very small. Start with what I call small-scale discipline. For instance, laying your bed every morning is an act of small-scale discipline, because what happens is when you wake up and you have to lay your bed, you are overriding a very natural impulse you have, which is to get out and get the day started. You're going, no, before I do any of that, I'm going to lay my bed. And what you're doing, you're training your brain to be overrode or overridden, whichever one's correct, by that foresight you have. And when you do that, it's like akin to going to the gym and just trying a couple of light weights. Your body's kind of, your muscles are kind of going, okay, something's happening here. Then you take it up a notch. So now after not only do you just lay your bed, you arrange the pillows as well. Okay, that's another thing now.
Correct.
Then, maybe it's washing the dishes after you finish cooking rather than at the end of your meal. Another thing. And before you know it, like, all these little things you're doing are building up your discipline muscle, so that when it comes to more difficult things like not buying the jacket you really want to buy, or not going out with your friends, even though there's peer pressure, you can say no, because your body is used to overriding that impulse you have. And for me, you can do that any time of the year. You can do that right now. Once you spot the place you lack lots of discipline, do what Danny says, speak to someone about it. But then to start building some discipline muscles. And essentially that can, if you do that, enough of that, you do get to a stage where people kind of ask you, how are you so disciplined? And you're like, it's not some magic thing.
And I've
been doing this since I was 13, pretty much.
Correct. And it's not in our natural ability to do these things, is it? And I guess that's where the struggle lies as well. I also believe in starving the mind of certain things. You starve your body of certain things, like like for me, sweets a lot, right? I've cut down on sweets.
In case you're wondering, he really, really loves sweets. Like, it's actually kind of scary, but go ahead.
But despite loving sweets, I understood that sweets is either going to get me diabetes, which was one of my fears. Sometimes you have to fear something in order to make that move. I understood that it would potentially give me diabetes. I understood that it would potentially as well cause my body to be in a certain shape that I didn't want it to be. So therefore,
a certain shape.
Fear. Sometimes fear is a good thing. So fear can cause you to become disciplined in a certain act. It's almost like when someone fears for, they've received some information from the doctors that, look, you're not eating right and things like that. It scares them. Of course it scares them. I'm not trying to use this as a scare tactic or anything like that. But you've got to understand that fear sometimes plays a part in great discipline becoming
No, you are right. Like, I agree. I mean, what I always speak about when people say they want to change, I always ask, are you tired of being tired? Because the truth is, if you're just tired, that you still have a long way to go.
Yeah.
And sometimes the fear is what evokes that kind of, okay, cool, no, I've done enough of, now I'm scared. And whatever it is, you just need to get to a place where you're right, so to speak, for change. And mild frustration or a bit of an happiness typically doesn't motivate people.
Yeah.
I think fear is a very good motivator, but also I think fear of staying who you are for me should be the biggest motivator for change. But what you'll notice so far is that everything we're saying is about taking away this glorious New Year thing and thinking about how on a daily basis you can just seek to be better. Because that's the thing. For some of us, for 10 years, we've been trying out, New Year's resolutions. And typically from January to April or even March, some people, we're really, really kind of driven to achieve these goals, right? So if you could draw a map out or a graph out of our year, it kind of goes January, then it goes February, March, April, May, and then just goes like that again, right? Now, over 6-7 years, it means your life is basically like boom, boom. And whilst that's happening, you got that initial spark and that kind of like that peak, but then the rest of your life is pretty much going downhill as a trough. So how do we fix that second part of your life, that second phase of your life where things are going down? And my point is, the way we do that is to think about just on a daily basis, seeking to be better, seeking to build discipline, seeking to take action, seeking to ask for help. When you do that, the overall trajectory of your life starts going up, because every single day you're 1% better than you were before. Correct. This changed the game for me. Like I when I spot something wrong with me, or I spot an issue or a problem I don't like, I just go, okay, cool, I gotta fix that. I don't put it into my inbox for January.
Of course.
No, and I know no one does it as well, right? I hope you don't do that anyways. But this is how one has the best year ever next year. Is when you stop chasing arbitrary goals that you kind of attach to January as though, like I said, there's a spiritual force there. And you instead, at any single stage or phase in your life, your mentor, your friends, your family spot something in you, they suggest it to you, you write it down, and you come up with a plan of how you're going to overcome it. Correct. If you do that, you become a better person, full stop. Correct. And you don't limit your changes or how beneficial the year is to the first 3, 4, 5 months.
Correct. And I think just in you mentioning about goals as well, Michael, interest, where does your interest lie? Don't walk into something half-hearted about kind of what that particular thing is. Walk into something knowing 100% that is something you enjoy, something that doesn't feel like a job, but something that feels like a hobby essentially, should I say. For me, personally, obviously, Michael, I used to be in properties, etc. And that wasn't bringing me satisfaction. Why is that? Because it's not something that I was genuinely deep down interested in. And now diverting into education, into working with young people, a gift that I was granted is my experience. Therefore, that was something I felt to myself was an interest. I was interested in sharing my experience with people. And then from that, I became this person that worked for an organisation for several years, and then of course started my own business. And look,
say the name, Danny.
TLG. And look, this has helped me significantly, and that's why I'm still driving in what I'm doing today. Yeah. Michael, you have to understand, what is your purpose? What is your interest? What do you believe that you're called to? That is something that consistently keeps you on that path to greatness, essentially. So, the year comes to an end, great. Look, halfway through the year, you're doing great. Halfway through the year, it's get to a point like, look, rethink. It's almost like bringing it back to the forefront. Bringing back to the forefront what you first thought of when you was at the start of your journey. Yeah? So when you start thinking like that, ultimately you see energy pull up from somewhere, and then it elevates you to keep going forward.
That's really good. I agree 100%. To add some flesh to the bones, I guess, essentially, what you're speaking about there is something called internal reasons versus external reasons. And philosophy that speaks about internal reasons are reasons that apply to what's called your subjective motivational set, which essentially means internal kind of drives and reasons you have to do something. So let me give you an example. If I come to you and say that, hey, it's good to be a disciplined person, and you kind of go, okay, cool. Mike said it's good to be disciplined. Let me learn to be disciplined. That's a good thing, but essentially that's an external reason. I've told you why you should do something, and you're trying to listen to me. However, if in your heart you've decided that I want to be a bodybuilder, so to speak, and you've recognized that discipline is a very important feature or springboard for you becoming a bodybuilder, then now you've got an internal reason, because it applies to something that you in your heart of yourselves actually want to do. And the issue about kind of people changing and becoming better is oftentimes they're just listening to what other people tell them they should be. You should be in property, you should be a dancer, you should, and this is how you do it. And then we kind of cry when we don't see them becoming that. It's because it doesn't apply to their subjective motivational set. So one thing I would task you with, especially as we end this video, is to literally think to yourself, what exactly are you passionate about? What are you into? And I guess this might be for those who are younger. If you're already in the job, you might be thinking it's just too late. But I think it applies to everyone, especially young people. What are you passionate about? What are you into? We live in an age now where next year you can make money from doing anything. Honestly, there's so many different. I was talking to my friend today about Patreon, which is just a website that literally subscribers or followers of anybody can pay for their content. Just pay like £10 a month, 20. You can live off that pretty much. So next year you can do anything you want. You can have the biggest dreams come true. You could start that business you want to start. You can release the song you've been talking about. You can do anything you want next year. It's literally yours for the taking. However, don't expect a special mystical force called New Year to kind of push you forward. No, instead, learn the way you get to where you get. The key to success is having the discipline to do what you know should be done, even when you don't feel like doing it. Understand that you've got to speak to people who know more than you, who can see through you, who can really hold you to account. Understand that you have to take action. These are all the things that help you achieve the greatest year you've ever had. In case you're looking for some new crazy wisdom somewhere, it's not out there. If you can just listen to what we are saying and take example from two people who literally aren't there yet by any means necessary, but are trying really hard to take these lessons forward themselves. I'm talking to myself, like I'm looking in the camera, I'm talking to myself. If you can do these things, you will have a great year. It will be a great year for you, but you need to get out of that whole cycle of New Year's and start thinking more about any time in the year. Once you spot something wrong, you come up with a plan and you try and fix it. Correct. That's what's super important.
And I just want to also pick on something you just said.
Depends how long it is, Danny.
Something significant. It's as long as 2 minutes.
It's 26 minutes. I'm sorry, go ahead.
So it's, you said account. I'm extending that by saying accountability. It's so important, isn't it? Especially when you are making these changes towards, as some people call New Year's resolution and things like that. Look, it's always important to be accountable to the person who's on that journey with you, or even the person who's helping you and providing the sorts of resources that you need. It's always ensuring that, look, you don't have to hold the world on your shoulder. You don't have to kind of feel to yourself, look, New Year, I want to do this and things like that, and just feel like it's all you on the journey. No, you're not on your own. You have friends, you have the right to support around you. And this is what I want people not to discount, because a lot of times people think they're on the journey on their own. Michael's on the same journey as I am. Me and Michael can talk to each other based upon these sort of encounters that we face. And essentially, we get to a stage where we can then just push through, thrive through, right? Resilience.
That's good. That's very good. So accountability, that's a good one as well. Well, listen, if this is your first time to the channel, please subscribe and turn on the bell notification. I'm back pretty much. I'm gonna try put lots more videos out. Click the like button as well. Please leave a comment and also share this with somebody. Like, it's December, so I feel like the best time to hear this video is now. No point listening in like March. Well, you can listen in March, but now's the best time. So if you're part of any group chats or anything, share this video with them and just help more people see it. And in terms of like Daniel's information, so then let me go through that again. So like, if you can, comment, please let me know what you think and what your plans for the New Year's are. You can message me on social media, Instagram, wherever it is. I love talking to people. I do Instagram lives every week pretty much, so you can message me on there as well. But in terms of Danny's stuff, I'm gonna put a link down below to Danny's like socials, so Instagram and stuff like that. You can follow CEG. Is the website up yet, Danny?
The website will be up in 2 weeks' time. This one is for definite, because I know we had some dysfunctional things that took place with the It's just under construction. There was someone that messed up significantly. I'm trying to resolve this. But
Super.
2 weeks from now.
2 weeks. So you can check out the website then as well. But CEG is super, and next year it's gonna do amazing things. And
Danny Andrews won. That's my Instagram.
Yeah, no, I'll put it down so people can just see it.
All right,
I'll put it down.
Michael's great. Look at my conflict.
Your cornflake.
Yeah.
Right. So that's that. Well, apart from that, it's been great. I still don't have a sign out thing, so if anyone has a sign out for me, let me know. But yeah, I'll see you on Sunday. Yeah, when I put out a vlog, right? Cause I'm back, baby. Anyways, take care.